Do you have people come to you and ask you for advice? And you've sometimes felt like, wow, I don't know if my advice really works or not, but these people keep coming to me. Well, you're a mentor. And this is for you to learn how to become a successful mentor. My name's Kirk Duncan, and I train people on how to be a successful mentor. Over the years, and when I say years, the last 20 years of my life, I've had many people approach me to ask for advice. And in the beginning, I could not understand why people were asking me for advice. My own personal life was messy. I couldn't even hardly keep my own home organized. And here people are coming to me for advice, and I could not figure out what and why they were approaching me. So along the way, I surrendered. I figured if they're approaching me, they must know something about me I don't even know. What I did notice is I could give advice. And it wasn't just ideas that might work. I actually had figured some things out that I didn't even realize I even knew. So here I give someone advice and their life gets better, and now I probably should follow my own advice. So I kind of fell into this experience about being a mentor. Since then, years and years and years ago, I have definitely studied and done the work and done my due diligence to educate myself about what it takes to be a successful mentor. Now, mentors, something that's cool about mentors is it's a personal experience. They're sharing with you from their own lives. That's what a mentor does. They share from their own lives, their wisdom, their knowledge, their experience, their failures, their successes. And so you get real information from mentors, which is awesome. Why would I ever want to make the same mistakes somebody else did? Why don't I learn from them? Why don't I save myself time? Well, the same thing applies to the people who approach me. Is that they're wanting to save themselves time. They're wanting to save themselves the hassle, the struggle. They'd rather get on to their new struggles, but get caught up or get moving up to where I'm at from the experience I can share with them. So let's talk about what it takes to be a successful mentor, because people are coming to you. People are coming to you. So the big question is why? Why are people approaching you? What's happened? What is it that you actually do know that you could share with people? Because it's time to get yourself a little bit more organized here. Instead of just somebody who gives advice, let's give advice that really works. So let's check in with this. What do people keep asking you about? This is something that I would suggest to you that you track. When people ask you for opinions and ideas about their challenges or problems, I think you pull out your phone and you write down these questions that people ask you, because they're telling you you have some deeper insight in this area than you even recognize yourself. This will help you build your idea of why you can be a great mentor. Because as long as you keep pushing it away and keep denying that you could ever be somebody like this, maybe it's time to listen. Maybe it's time to recognize what people keep asking for, especially, let me just jump in and say this, especially if the same types of questions keep coming to you. You know how one person will ask you advice about something and then another person asks you and it's almost the same question? Boy, that's something to pay attention to. To listen and notice the kind of advice that you give to people. That will help you develop the why. You are going to be a great mentor. Now, the other side of this coin of number one is, why would you want to be a mentor to others? Why do you want to help? What happens when you help people? What is it that you like about helping other people? Maybe you're like me and you really like to see other people succeed. You like to see them save time and miss out on struggles and pain that they didn't have to face. Maybe you have that guardian energy. You see, mentors are usually guardians. They're people who care about other people and their actual success and achievements in their life. And maybe you have that type of energy about you, or that type of thinking. that you are in a way a guardian to others. The next part to help you become a successful mentor is this. Who would you really like to work with? Who is like the most incredible person that you would love to serve and help and share everything you know with them, and they would listen to all your advice? Who is that person? Now, for me, I love working with people who are entrepreneurs, and I also love working with people who are looking to expand their thinking. That just is an absolute joy to talk with somebody like that. I mean, in fact, I can't hold back sharing information with people who are like that, who are just like searching and looking, because I love sharing with them what it takes to open the mind and open the eyes and be able to move forward and pick an idea and a dream and accomplish it. Oh, I could do that all day long and all night long, and I'd never eat. I would just love doing that. So who is it that you'd love to serve and help? Because when you have an idea who that is, it motivates you to actually step into this realm of being a mentor. Next is, there is some wisdom that you have in life about what works and what doesn't work. This would be really smart for you to start documenting. And it's going to look like a page with a line drawn down the middle of what works and what doesn't work. And this is a way of doing inventory of the wisdom that you have. What works and what doesn't work in being a parent? What works and what doesn't work in being married? What works and what doesn't work when it comes to nutrition and food and exercise and living next to neighbors? And boy, just imagine the list of wisdom that you have. You see, this right here of what works and what doesn't work, we don't really pay attention to the wisdom we have around this. It's just kind of like just second nature. But other people can sense in us the wisdom we have, and that's why they're coming to you. That's why they're asking you questions, because they can tell that you know something about this. Even when you're not even advertising it. You're not even telling people about the wisdom you have. Because wisdom radiates from us. It doesn't just stay inside of our head and inside of our heart. It literally radiates from us. So you might as well get conscious about what it is that you know about what works and what doesn't work in these different categories of life. The more you do this step right here, you will find that you will activate your mind. And more of this information will come to you about the wisdom you've gained through life experiences. That wisdom, applied with an intentional way, can change somebody's life forever. That's the power a mentor has, is to literally help another person change directions and get them on a better path than where they were headed. So do the work here and journal and find what it is that you know about that. Now, to be a mentor means to say, I'm a mentor. I want to help. I want to serve. And what I call this, it's called turning the closed sign around to being open. Being open to help people. As long as you keep denying that you know something and denying that you have certain people you want to help and denying that it's really in you to help people, as long as you keep denying it and your sign's turned around to the closed side of the sign, you're going to find that your life is in conflict. You're going to feel that unfulfilled feeling deep down inside of you. Because it's what I felt. You know, I kept searching in all these other directions of like something I could do to find fulfillment. And it wasn't until I realized my closed sign needed to be turned around to open. That I'm open to help people. I love mentoring people. I was sitting in the airport in Indianapolis, sitting next to somebody, and I asked them how they're doing, and I could tell there was some kind of challenge they're facing in their life. And in 10 minutes, I had a chance to share with them some things that I found that work and things that don't work. Be able to help give them some guidance and some direction in their life. It was a 10-minute experience, but it wasn't just a casual conversation. I was being a very intentional mentor because I knew who I could work well with. I knew why I wanted to be a mentor because I love helping people, and I shared some wisdom, and my sign was on open. So there I was, available. That's been the coolest part ever, is being able to mentor people anywhere and always. If they're ready to listen, they're open to be shared with or taught, boy, I'm ready to teach them. Now the last one here is all about attending our course called The Art of Mentoring. Here at 3 Key Elements, I teach a 3-day course called Art of Mentoring, where I help people get organized with all their wisdom, and I also help them get organized of what it really takes to help somebody move from point A to point B in their life. Point A is where they're at right now. Point B is where they really could be. But for some reason, between point A and B, there's a glitch. There's something in the way. There's something a wall that they're up against or a challenge they're up against, and they can't get past it. I love to help train people like you to help people remove that obstacle, disassemble that challenge so that they can move forward and get to that point B. And with that type of education, you literally can mentor anyone. Doesn't matter their background. I've mentored millionaires. I've mentored school teachers. I've mentored principals. I've mentored CEOs of huge corporations, but I haven't been all those places in my life. But because I know the techniques and the skills and the steps about how to remove obstacles and change point of view, I can help anybody move from point A to point B. And that's what you'll learn at Art of Mentoring. Now, if I'm not your mentor, or you got to go find somebody else to be your mentor, here's some things to look for. Whenever you go out in the world to look and learn about how to become a mentor, be sure that they understand, learn how to manage emotions, learn how to manage thought, and learn how to manage behavior in all 7 different learning styles. That would be a great training course. And that's what Art of Mentoring is all about. But be sure that checklist I just gave you, you find that in whatever course that you go to, because that is the core principles that you're going to want to learn about so you can teach people how to disassemble and remove obstacles in front of them so they can get from point A to point B. So until then, until you can get to an Art of Mentoring course, consider yourself a mentor because you have some wisdom, your sign is turned around to open, you know who you want to work with and you know why you want to work with them, and share the wisdom you have with them. You're going to make a big difference in people's lives as long as you're being intentional about it. And to believe in yourself and trust yourself that your experience really does have value and that it really matters to other people. But go to our website at 3keyelements.com and look up Art of Mentoring and check the dates and get to that class as soon as possible. I'd love to share with you the wisdom and knowledge that I've found along the way to help people get from point A to point B. You're a mentor, and you literally have the skills and talents to become a successful mentor.